hungry friends, this is Polish Kitchen. Today we're making Polish croquettes with chicken. Croquettes z kurczakiem. Hi, welcome back. This is Polish Kitchen, and here I teach you how to make Polish food. Today we're going to be making delicious chicken croquettes. I guess croquettes aren't just Polish, are they?
I don't think so.
But we're making them our way. So stay around and find out. And if you're here for the first time, please subscribe and hit the little bell button so you know when to watch us again. And let's get to it. So as we know, Polish kitchen is very stretchy, meaning we stretch our ingredients as far as we can. And this is one of those recipes that you can kind of use ingredients that you have in your kitchen from cooking something else. I'm using chicken from chicken soup, and as you know, us Poles eat a lot of chicken soup. Every Sunday it's chicken soup day. And then you have a pot of delicious broth that you eat with noodles and pieces of carrots, and then the rest of the meat you don't really know what to do with. So I've cooked up my chicken for rosół, and I've taken the meat off of the bone, off the whole chicken, and I also have all the rest of ingredients that I put in here. So I have little pieces of mushroom and parsnips and carrots. I think we ate most of the carrots with the soup, but whatever is in the soup we were going to use to make our stuffing for croquettes. And croquette are, we make our croquette with naleśniki, only we make savory version of them, meaning we don't put any sugar in it. So I have a recipe for naleśniki on my channel, so go back and watch that one. And the recipe on my page, polishkitchen.com, just omit the sugar. And we have prepared those already, not to waste your time on this video to watch that again. So we've prepared those, and we're gonna be wrapping our filling. No, we're gonna be wrapping our naleśniki, our thin pancakes, over the dough, which we'll get to. So I'm using my meat grinder, but if you don't have one, you can also use a what is this? Food processor. And you would just fill your bowl with it with the regular blade, and just spin it until it's not completely smooth, but it's to where it's not chunky anymore like this. And then we'll add some spices. So if you're using a meat grinder like this, you're gonna make sure you have the blade in, first the spiral goes in, that's obvious I guess, and then the blade goes in, and I'm using the smaller holes because I want my my filling to be kind of finely ground. And this goes on, and we're ready for it. And the reason I prefer using the meat grinder to food processor is that I feel it gives me a little bit more even grind, and I guess it's a little bit more predictable for me, so I like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and grind all this, vegetables, meat, and I mean everything. The skins on, mine is the bones obviously, but everything that's edible will get ground up. So go ahead and do that. Work maybe a little bit higher. There we go. I even have little pieces of mushrooms that I used in the soup. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back when this part is done. I have ground up my filling completely, and I have this much. You can see little bits of veggie in there and stuff, so that's nice. And now we're gonna take, I have a cup of diced onion that has been sauteed in a 3 tablespoons of butter. And I've prepared this ahead of time, so I'm just gonna add it to my filling. Now we want to give this a little bit more flavor. So we like onion. But everybody likes onion, right?
I like onion.
And I'm gonna be kind of reserved on the salt because the meat that was in my soup had already some salt in it. So I'm gonna be kind of cautious with that. And then I have 2 cloves of garlic that I'm gonna just cut in half to fit into my garlic press. I could have also just put this in the meat grinder and that would have been just fine. Croquettes are, if you've ever been to a Polish wedding, croquettes are served at weddings often. Sometimes they're meat, sometimes they have sauerkraut and mushroom filling, or sometimes just mushrooms. And they go perfectly with a nice hot cup of beetroots broth, doesn't it?
It does.
Normally, actually, if you're eating this at a restaurant or, I don't know, roadside bar or whatever, they will serve it with a glass or a cup of beetroot. So I have the garlic and the onion, and I'm gonna grind up some black pepper. And again, you do you. I like mine with flavor, so I'm gonna go a bit more, but just go as much as you're comfortable with. And last but not least, I'm gonna do a tablespoon of marjoram, and I'm just gonna rub it in my fingers a little bit to activate the flavor. This filling is actually very similar to meat pierogi filling. We normally cook our meat before making the filling, but it would normally be a mixture of beef and chicken for me. Sometimes a lot of people do beef and pork. And I'm gonna give this a stir and then taste it and see if I needed any more salt. Needed to add a little bit more salt or not, or a little bit more pepper, and I guess the amount of meat may vary for you a little bit, kind of depending how big your bird was for the soup. So just be the judge, be the chef that you are at home. And this looks exactly like pierogi filling. Let's give this a taste. Need salt. So I'm gonna add this much.
How much is this like?
Oh, this was almost a tablespoon. This was eyeball amount. When I used to cook with my grandma, and I wanted to know more about what the process was, or what she's putting in, or what amount, and she'd always say, well, you put enough in. You see, you look and you see. Mm-hmm. That's normal, right? You look and see. No widzisz? A little more. Almost there. Don't want to oversalt it because it'll keep dissolving in there. That looks good. You can taste that marjoram in there too. Really good. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside now here. And now we're going to do our foldings. Here are my naleśniki, and they have cooled now, which is fine. They could be a little bit warm. So I'm just going to scoop out a little bit of the filling. And this also could depend on how much you want in it. And this is almost also like making gołąbki. And we put this on kind of towards the end. And then we fold. And fold. and fold. And then we're going to store our croquette on the seam. So I'm going to put them seam down. And we'll do one more.
Polish burrito.
Polish burrito. That's how you should trick your kids to eating these, maybe. Hey kids, it's burrito night. And you can also make 2 different types for, might as well, if you're doing this, get yourself enough naleśniki to make a couple of filling types and get the kids to help you. They are more likely to eat if they have had something to do with making it. These are actually pretty, they're liked in my family. Our child likes meat filling. She likes meat, and she likes meat filling, and she likes meat pierogi, and she likes everything meat. So I know we won't have issues with her eating these. Are your kids picky eaters? Tell us. Tell us in comments. Are you serving them Polish food? Do they like it? I'm asking about like kids, young kids. Not, 40-year-olds. Although we do care about 40-year-olds too. You have a question?
Nope.
Why are you raising your hand then? I have enough to keep going, so I'm gonna get my pan out and we'll finish these off. So, ta-da! I have about half of my batch here, and once we have made our little pouches, you can actually do this ahead of time and then keep them warm, or you can do this right before serving. So what you're gonna do, I gotta put eggs in here. I'm gonna put your egg. I'm gonna make a, what do you call this?
Egg wash.
Egg wash. And for this, I will probably need, I have 3, 4 eggs. I guess we can always add eggs, right? And this just has to get mixed a little bit. And we're gonna give it a little bit of moisture to soak up. I'm doing half butter and half oil. Cooking with gas now, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we're going to take our little envelopes and make sure to keep the seal down. You're going to twist in your egg wash and then into the breadcrumbs. Did I say I have breadcrumbs? I have breadcrumbs. And when you're turning them, maybe we show a little bit closer. When you're twisting them, twist so this flap is going this way. So you're not unwinding your croquette. Same here. Just go with the twist. So you're covering the flap. And in they go. Probably keep your...
turned off.
No, it's not off. Just keep it really low because we don't want them burning right away. We want them to get a nice brown cover and warm all the way through. But like I said, they would do really well if you were to do this number, then put them on the cookie sheet and pop them in a warm oven. If you're afraid that they're not warm all the way through, they'll finish kind of warming up. Everything is cooked other than the raw egg on top, so you don't really have to worry about cooking like if you were using raw filling. So these would do well also in as an appetizer, right? Like to a party, finger food, you can cut them in half and serve them to your guests. It's been about 5 minutes and I have mine set to kind of medium low, and I want to start turning them over gently. Ooh, perfect. We got a nice crust. Looking good. I really like them with beetroot soup too. I hope you try that, making that, and actually a shortcut to beetroot soup that you drink. You can just go to a health food store if you have one nearby and buy beet juice in like the refrigerated juice section. A lot of times they have like the mixtures of beet and apple, or beet and celery or something like that. And put that in your cup, heat it up, or put it in your pot, heat it up real nice, add crush a clove of garlic and pop it in there. Don't boil, just heat to high temperature. A little dollop of butter, maybe half a teaspoon or so, and dried marjoram on top, and let that kind of come together. Yeah, and salt and pepper, and it'll be perfect for drinking with our croquette. We're gonna let these go for another 5 minutes. I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil here and there on the edges, and a little bit of butter, just a tiny bit, because that breadcrumbs, they soak up the oil real quick too, so we want the second batch to have something to cook on. We are ready to go. Try this. I'll turn this off for right now. How many could you eat?
Okay.
This is
that's a
okay.
loaded question.
Sorry.
That's a loaded question.
No.
How many can I eat?
Yes.
Because I'll eat the all of them.
Serving size is probably 2 per person.
Yeah. I thought it was a challenge. I didn't know.
You could do a challenge. Check it out. Looks delicious.
It does look delicious.
They are probably warm by now. Warm through. Perfect. They're tasty when you buy them at a restaurant, but nothing beats homemade. I hope you try this recipe. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you're here for the first time. Hit that bell button. Check out my merch store at posterkitchen.com. Up on the top menu, merch store. You can buy t-shirts and hats and even bibs. Adults wear bibs too. I hope you come and see us again, and we'll see you next time. Smacznego!